Intro.
Welcome to Honey&brown.
Welcome. Hey, look, we're wearing the same clothes. It's almost like we're recording all of these at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome to our channel, Honey&brown. What do we do here?
We do anime and music.
Yeah, it's our whole life, anime and music.
Yes.
This part of the channel, it's called Music Corner.
Yes.
Premises, basically, it's a
MJ Corner.
Yeah, basically, it's the MJ Corner at this point. Music's a huge part of my life, so I get to, I finally get to like introduce all of these songs and artists that have made an impact on my life. I get to introduce it to my wife, who's never heard of it or who's not too familiar with a lot of these songs and artists. The artist, obviously, Michael Jackson. If you've been following this channel now, you know how much Michael Jackson has meant to me. He's my #1 favorite artist of all time.
Yes.
And, his songs had played such a huge role in my life, from when I was a kid to a teenager to like now, right? It's his music has always kind of been with me, and it's impacted, it's influenced how I speak, think, act, how I kind of view people, just everything, right? And
yeah.
Everyone has kind of their story about what Michael meant to them. And to me, my biggest story is like, when I look back on my childhood, I'm just kind of sad because like Michael didn't have a childhood. But when I look back on my childhood, I realize how much, like, if I had to have a soundtrack to my childhood, it'd be Michael Jackson, right? Because his songs were always played throughout my entire childhood. With my mom was, a big fan, and she introduced it to myself and my sister. And as I said, I didn't know what music was until I heard Michael Jackson, and I based all of my musical taste around Michael Jackson, right? Like, if that's why I have such a high standard when it comes to music, at least in my opinion. So, if I love an artist or I really love a song, it's because of Michael Jackson and kind of his influence on me. But it's kind of cool because you didn't really have that with Michael, like, at all. So it's cool that I kind of can go back in time with you and like re-experience a lot of these songs. And like some of the songs that we have been listening to lately by Michael, I've kind of re-experienced it myself, like Liberian Girl and Break of Dawn and Heaven Can Wait. Like,
yeah,
these are songs that I kind of like, oh yeah, like I never really listened to them back then, but now I'm listening to it now. I'm like, oh, and like especially Liberian Girl,
yeah,
and Stranger in Moscow, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like I don't think I would have had such an appreciation for these songs now until I was able to introduce it to you. So it's kind of cool. It's not just your journey,
yeah,
it's our journey. So it's kind of cool.
Like, I'm so like happy because like I have been putting all of this in a playlist, and it's so amazing because like I just keep listening to them on my drive, going to work, on my break, like every free time that I have, even like as I'm responding to like comments, reading comments and all that. Like, I always play all his songs that we've listened so far, and it's just, I feel so happy that I'm able to like listen to it right now, because like, especially at a time where it's so rare to get like, to have a good artist, artists who like produce like, amazing albums. But with Michael, there's no bad song. All songs are amazing. It's like, I can't. Yeah,
especially off of this album, the album, we've been kind of going back and forth with Invincible and History. I wanted to start you off on Invincible because it's a much more kind of like secluded album. Like it's Michael just kind of going back to his roots, his soulful side, and just kind of writing an R&B album.
This is his last album, right?
This was his last album before he passed away, like, yeah, he's had some compilations and remixes here and there, but obviously not by him, right? This was his last official release, right? And you can tell because a lot of his stuff that was released afterwards, it doesn't have that Michael magic. There's a few songs kind of here and there, but nothing like, when it's Michael doing it. But yeah, Invincible, it's a very underrated album. It was very underappreciated, and no, I wouldn't say underappreciated, but like when this album came out, Michael was fighting with his record label, and his record label was trying to suppress this album, and it never really got its proper time to shine. But through time, it's definitely picked up, and people are starting to realize like, holy, like this is like a great album, man. Like, and this was Michael again going back to his roots, going back to his Motown soulful R&B roots, and just writing an album that was just like fun. And again, there are songs off of this album that address controversy and stuff about his past, but you know, I think the majority of the album is just R&B, and it's just like, it's just Michael having fun and just making music without, you know, a big kind of pain behind the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
But this song, 2000 Watts, was actually a lot of people in the comments were requesting it.
Yeah.
It's a very different vibe with the song. Again, I'm not gonna like go into detail about the song. I want you to experience it yourself, you know, but it's definitely different vibe from our last couple of songs. This is much more, not faster song, but it's I don't know, it's a very futuristic kind of sonic sounding song. It's a very, like, that's the only thing I can think of. It's a very futuristic song, but it'll definitely be bobbing your head to it. But yeah, again, just want to say thank you guys again for following us on our journey.
Thank you for subscribing, continuing to subscribe, commenting, liking, and, you know, just sharing how our reaction means to you, like looking forward to our reaction, sharing your life, and sharing you know, what Michael means to you, and what, you know, like a story about the song, you know, what was happening in Michael's life. Like, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. Like,
I've been a Michael fan my whole life, but I've learned so much from all of you guys too, right? So it's insane. I thought I knew a lot about Michael. I didn't, but
I know, like, I was reading about, like, you know, what was it, like when he was a child and then he would buy like a candy and give it to kids. Like, that makes me like such a heartwarming thing to kind of, you know, know.
Yeah. But anyways, this song is 2000 Watts. It's a different vibe from his previous ones, so you kind of have to put yourself in that mindset that it's not going to be an R&B soulful song, but it's definitely a banger. Yeah. It's kind of like you can't just have an album full of slow songs. You got to have that banger. You kind of have to get people to, you know.
He's changing his ways again and telling me about the song.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm so excited.
Before I listen to it.
But anyways, let's get on to it. This is 2000 Watts by Michael Jackson of Invincible.
All right.
You may now apply. You may now apply your 3D glasses. 3D as we proceed. Prepare for proceed.
Like a workout song.
I don't know what that means.
A workout song.
A workout song. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that. I'm gonna include this in my workout list.
futuristic beat to it. All right, 2000 watts, 8 ohms, 200 volts, real strong. What do you think of the song?
You're so corny.
I know.
I love it. It's gonna be in my workout playlist.
Yeah, it's such a, this is a banger. Like, this is like Michael being like, yo, man, I know I've been doing some slow R&B songs. Let's, time to pump it up. You know, this is a very futuristic, like supersonic, like song, you know? I mean, it's not a really in-depth song, but it's just, again, it's Michael just being like, yo, I can still make you dance. I can still make you bob your head. I can still, you know, I can still make songs to like
he can
pump you
make
up.
songs for anything, for any occasion.
Yeah.
I think like Michael is just that good.
Michael's just above it all, man. This album, it's like this, and I love this song because it's so different from the rest of this album. I mean, this song in Heartbreaker, which you've heard, right? But I really want to.
I don't think I haven't added that to my playlist.
You haven't heard that in a while, but we'll definitely react to that because Heartbreaker is my favorite, well, like one of my favorite songs off of this album.
Oh.
But they kind of have the same vibe where it's very like futuristic. It's very like I kind of said that it's a bit like techno trance. That's a bad explanation. I can't really explain this sound, and that's what makes it so good.
When you told me that it's gonna be techno, I was really afraid that I'm not gonna like this song because I hate like techno kind of sound.
Yeah, it's not techno. It's just that's the sound it kind of does, and you know, I think Michael was experimenting. Like, this is a very experimental song for Michael, and you can tell he was very much trying to, like, he was playing with sounds and like moments, and he was playing around with beats and everything. And you know, like this song, I mean, unless I'm completely wrong, but the song is it's kind of again Michael having fun in the studio, you know, because this whole album is very much, you know, R&B mixed with Motown nostalgia, but it's also very, very much ahead of its time because, you know, a lot of what R&B was afterwards as well tried to be this, like, you know, like Chris Brown, Usher, you know, Justin Timberlake, they tried to emulate Michael, and I think they tried to use, and I think this album was kind of like their foundation to like, okay, how do we make it a modern R&B album, right? But this song was just like, no, you can't copy, you can't duplicate me, man. Like, it's just, you know, I just love, like, I mean, the song's just such like it's so catchy, you know, and I love that because like Michael can always write a really good hook. But he's like, yo, I can still write a great hook. I can still be infectious. It's a very infectious song.
Yeah, 2000 watts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't sing. I couldn't. You think I try?
But yeah, it's a very, I mean, it's a very cool song. It's such a cool song. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I like how it kind of breaks up the album a bit because, you know, you can't have an album just full of kind of R&B ballads. You need to break it up a bit. Yeah. And what is the perfect way to break it up? You put this song where you're like, whoa, like this is just out of nowhere, and you hear it and you're like, oh, Michael, like just when you think you have Michael figured out, and you're like, okay, I know what type of sound, boom, he's like, no, he's like, you are not on my level. I'm gonna show you what music is. He's like, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something that you would never expect. You would never expect Michael to sing this type of song, and his voice in the song too, very different.
I know. I for a second there, I was thinking like, is this Michael?
Yeah,
like I wasn't sure for like for a second. I wasn't sure,
and that's what's cool about it, right?
Yeah,
very different sounding Michael, and I think it's Michael adapting and Michael being a chameleon in the song. But yeah, I don't know. I love it.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I can never figure out Michael at all. Like, you could say, like, you know, there's some people who can like figure out Michael like in just a few songs. I can never. Like, every song that he, like, you know, we've heard from this album, it's so new to me. Yeah. It's so new, and like the beats are not the same. Like, usually people with the, you know, releasing songs in one album, it's gonna be all the same beats, or like, you know, be in that same kind of genre or like family tree. But Michael's like, all of the song is like different.
Yep. And this is definitely a very different song. Like, this is probably one of Michael's in terms of sound, very unique song. Like, I don't think you can, I don't think if you play this, like, I think if you play this for anybody and didn't tell them that this was Michael Jackson, I mean, probably there's certain types where you can hear Michael, but if you didn't give them any clue, just, hey, do you like the song? They would never guess that this is a Michael Jackson song.
Actually, if I didn't know this was Michael, like, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Because like he doesn't sound like I could not hear that Michael voice. Like that voice that I have been hearing all this time. It's like I couldn't.
It's very like robotic, but it's like harmonious robotic, right? Like Michael's incapable of creating a song with no rhythm. Like he always has to add harmony and melody, and he always has to add something, which is awesome. Like that's the basic of what music should be. But yeah, like I mean, a song like this, if it was done by any other artist, I think it would have failed. It would have failed because you hear the song and you're like, okay, what is this? But Michael, with the way he, you know, how like the way he wrote it, produced all that stuff, like, you know, he worked with other producers on this album. And with this song as well. But like you can tell, like it took, like Michael can take a song like this and just make it freaking awesome because he's such a genius in the lab. You know, and like he always adds a flair and a style to all of his songs. But again, the song is like fantastic. It's actually one of my favorite songs off this album, just because it's so unique and it's so different. Like, you know, most of the time MJ has his own style. Like it's kind of, I don't really consider Michael pop or R&B or rock, even though like that's what we kind of do it as. Michael is in his own genre, and this song is like he just invented a new genre for himself.
No, I think it's because like, okay, I can't figure out Michael, like when it comes to his beats, like when it comes to his melody, his music, like I can't figure him out. But when you hear a Michael song, you can hear that this is Michael's voice, like his rawness, like everything. This you know, this like screams Michael. But with this one, I can't. You can't. Like, I can't even tell this is Michael. Like for a minute there, like I honestly could not. Like I did not think it was Michael.
And that's what's cool about it. You know, you listen.
I thought there was another artist. Like was there another artist?
I mean, I think there was in the background, but I mean, majority of the song is Michael. You know, and it's Michael just changing his style. Like I think that's what it is. Like when you've been doing what Michael's been doing for what, like at the time, man, like his whole life. Like his whole life, he's been making music. You know, you need to like adapt and you need to change, and Michael still showed that like he can change his style and he can do any genre and he can master it. I think that's the thing, he can jump into any genre and master it. Like if Michael ever made a country album, it would, I don't listen to country, but if he made a country album, it would be the best country album ever, right? Like, any type of music he wants to do, because I think music is in his blood, it's in his veins, it's in his mind, right? And I don't even like saying that he makes music. Michael makes art, and every song is an experience. I mean, you know, some songs might have more of a dramatic or more of an intense experience, but every song is an experience no matter what. Like you always get something out of a Michael song, right? And that will never be taken away from him. Like his legacy will just forever be cemented in this, right? And again, great album. Very underrated song, because I can almost guarantee, like if you play this for anyone, they would not in a million years, if they weren't a Michael fan, you know, I think like 9 times out of 10 they'd be like, oh, this is a good song. Is this a new song? It's like, no man, this is Michael Jackson. They're like, what? This is Michael Jackson? So great. I'm glad you guys were recommending it. It was a song we were going to react to, but you know, I kind of want to break up the flow, because we've been doing a lot of slower kind of songs, so we kind of have to like, I love when Michael does more fast songs or more upbeat songs too. But anyways, thank you again for watching us, and thank you so much for all the support that you guys are giving us. Again, blown away every day. Like, when we read the comments, it's so heartwarming, it's so humbling. It's like we feel extremely blessed to have this community. Like this is such a beautiful community that we all can just come together and just, you know, talk about things that we love, and like Michael being a big influence on a lot of our lives, you know, and we don't really have to feel ashamed or embarrassed, right? Like we can pour out our hearts, and that's what you guys do every time you watch our videos and you reply, you know, and we get to read it, and you know, it's unbelievable.
And it's just like, it's so amazing that people, like, you know, people like really wants to support us, that they, you know, that they would actually even like what do you call that, try to,
I don't know,
like, you know, what is it called? Sorry, English.
Just support us, I guess.
Like, I mean, trying to advertise us to, like, you know, promote us. Yeah, that's the right word.
It's promote us. Yeah, a lot of people like with an even bigger following, like huge following.
Like, yeah, it's like we got no following.
Yeah, and
they don't have much following.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Yo, we want to promote your videos." It's just amazing, and I cannot wait to see where this channel goes with all of you guys and where the Michael journey is gonna go, because this all started with me just wanting to play Michael Jackson for her, and boom, now it's like something more, and it's because of you guys. So we're so thankful, and yeah, keep leaving us amazing comments. We love to read it. Please, you know, small, big, whatever, man, we love the comments. We love it, and we'll always do our best to reply back because you guys deserve it, right?
Yeah.
But again, thank you again for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in the next MJ reaction.
See you.
Yeah, see ya.